You ever get that nagging feeling that the game is, well, kind of rigged? Like when it comes to your money, someone out there is playing chess, and you're just trying to remember how the pieces move. Well, let's get into it, because according to finance journalist Chris Kohler's new book, you're not wrong. Today, we're going to break down exactly how they separate you from your cash, and more importantly, how you can start fighting back. And this right here is the core of the whole thing. It's not just a casual thought. There are entire teams of people. It's their full-time job to figure out how you tick, how you spend, and, how to get you to spend just a little bit more. It's a constant, focused effort on their part.
Right. That's the big question, isn't it? Who are they? It sounds like a big conspiracy, but the answer is actually a lot simpler than you might think. Look, this isn't about some evil villain in a dark room. The person working at the bank isn't the bad guy. It's the system. It's a whole system of incentives that's designed to turn every single part of your day into what Kohler calls a billable moment. Every marketing email, every smooth, frictionless app, it's all built to find a way into your wallet. So let's start with the small stuff, the everyday traps that feel like tiny cuts but really, really add up.
This is that slow drip, the little expenses we've all just kind of been trained to accept as normal. And it kicks off with one of the biggest shifts in how we buy things over the past decade. I mean, this cartoon just nails the absurdity, doesn't it? It feels like literally everything is a subscription now. Your TV shows, your music, your grocery delivery. I've even seen car companies try to make you subscribe to your own seat warmers. What started as a simple model for like a magazine has become the go-to for pretty much every business out there. And just look at the staggering scale of this. This isn't just a feeling we have. The numbers are wild. The global subscription economy is on track to explode from $51 billion to over $900 billion in just 6 years. That's not growth. That's a revolution. We've all kind of been sleepwalking into it, and it's become one of the main ways they get you.
Okay, now for another trap that cleverly disguises itself as a good thing. Loyalty programs. We've all got wallets and apps full of them, right? We sign up thinking we're scoring a deal, but as this cartoon points out, after years of loyalty, what do you get? One free nothing. The reality is often the exact opposite of the promise. So here's the real trade that's happening. It's completely lopsided. You're handing over this incredibly valuable treasure trove of data. What you buy, when you buy it, everything. They bundle that up and sell it. And what do you get in return? A few points that, if you're lucky, might eventually get you a tiny discount. It's not a reward. It's a transaction where, frankly, you're the product being sold.
And then there's this classic move. You've definitely seen this at the supermarket, shrinkflation. It works because of something called the money illusion. Our brains are just wired to be way more sensitive to a price going up than to a package getting a tiny bit smaller. So they quietly shrink the chocolate bar or put a few less chips in the bag, and they're betting you won't even notice. Okay, so that's the slow drip, the everyday drains. But these tactics get way, way more serious when the price tags get bigger. Let's talk about the purchases that can literally define your financial future.
For most of us, after a house, a car is the next biggest thing we'll ever buy. And this image just perfectly captures the reality of a car loan, doesn't it? You feel like you own a car, but for years and years, you actually own very little of it. The bank owns most of this thing that is losing value every single day. Yeah, Kohler doesn't mince words in the book, and for a really good reason. A mortgage on a house usually makes sense. It's an asset that hopefully grows in value. But car loans, they are a completely different and much more dangerous animal. Just think about it for a second. A car loses a chunk of its value the second you drive it off the lot. So you're paying high interest to borrow money for something that's worth less every single day. They bury fees in the fine print and sometimes use tricks like a balloon payment. That's a massive lump sum you owe at the very end, which is basically designed to trap you in another loan. That monthly car payment can be the one thing that stops a family from saving for a house, an asset that actually builds wealth. And speaking of houses, that brings us to the biggest purchase of all. In a lot of places, this is how it's done. Not with a calm, quiet negotiation, but with a frantic, high-pressure public performance. The entire setup is basically psychological warfare. It's all by design. They create this artificial scarcity, one house but dozens of desperate buyers. They use social pressure. You're literally shouting bids in the street in front of your potential new neighbors. It's all meant to make you emotional, to make you competitive, and ultimately, to make you pay more than you ever planned to.
Okay, I know, that was a lot, and it can feel pretty disheartening. But here's the good news. You are not powerless in this game. Not at all. The whole second half of the book is about how to flip the script. This is the single most important change you can make. You have to get this idea in your head. Companies tax loyalty. They don't reward it. The best deals on your internet, your phone, your insurance, they almost always go to brand new customers. So your willingness to switch, to be flighty, is your absolute greatest superpower.
So here's your action plan. It's simple. Once a year, just once, set aside maybe an hour for a little financial checkup. Step 1, pull up your bank statement and do a subscription audit. Be brutal. If you haven't used it in 3 months, just cancel it. Step 2, ditch all those useless loyalty programs that are just farming your data. Keep the 2 or 3 that actually give you real value and get rid of the rest. And finally, step 4, and this is the big one. Pick up the phone, get a quote from a competitor for your internet, your insurance, your energy, and then call your current provider. And when you make that call, you have to use the right language. Never ever say, "I've been a loyal customer for 10 years. That just tells them you're a pushover who's not going to leave. That's the weak position. Instead, be direct. Say, "Look, I'm planning to leave and join your competitor. They're offering me this price. Can you match it?" Ask them to get rid of fees. And always, always ask this magic question. What's your best deal for a new customer? You'll be amazed at how often they give it to you.
And finally, let's just zoom out for a second. Your personal actions are huge, but the ultimate defense for all of us is a healthy, competitive market where we actually have a choice. That's why consumer protection agencies are so important. They're basically the referees trying to make sure the game is at least a little bit fair.
So I want to leave you with that thought. Make it a reflex. Before you tap your card, before you sign up for a free trial, before you join another program, just take a breath and ask yourself that one simple question. How's it getting me? Because they are definitely thinking about you. It's time you started thinking about them.